Hi, welcome to IronWorks Brewing, and right, today we're doing the Tankard Brewing Nectaron APA, American Pale Ale. So we've got as grains, what we've got in the pack, we've got our hops and yeast. So we've got dry hop pack, 10-minute hop pack, and 60-minute hop pack, all good. And we've got our LAX yeast. So where are we so far? So we've got the water up to strike temperature. We're up to 73 degrees. We've got the sparge water at 76, 75. That's just now throttling backwards and forwards. In fact, I'll just turn the heating element down so it's not wasting energy. That's at 73. So we'll be mashing in anytime soon. I'm going to be trying a couple of different camera angles this time. So we'll see how that works out. Well, that's the main thing. I think first job really is to get all the other stuff, get my fermenter out of the back of here, get that in, get that cleaned and sanitized in readiness. I can be doing that whilst the 60-minute mash is on. I think in terms of the mash profile, look, we are 60 minutes, and then yeah, so then it's up to 75 for 15 minutes at the end, and then we're prepping as sparge water. So that'll give it an opportunity to rest in readiness for sparging. Other than that, I think we're pretty much good to go. Right, so before we get started, I've just got a little bit of an interlude, and we're going to fuel the brewer, and we'll come back to you in a second. Right, let's look at mashing this lot in. I've got my scissors, I've got my small mash paddle, and we will get started. Temperature 73 degrees, so we'll get that in and then drop it. My additions for my water, RO water, I've got in already. It's all in sparge and in here. Just the final piece would be the lactic acid, which I will be having a look at. That's 4 mils. I've got my pH meter, hydrometer. I've got the pill charging. This is another one, but I've got the pill. This is pill B. The other one's pill A. That's charging up. In fact, it's charged. Just need disconnecting. I've also got my refractometer. But to be honest, hydrometers are as good as anything. Put that back in there. So let's have a look. 73, all good. I've got a couple of different camera angles, so we'll work through it. Little bung in the top to stop all the dust and stuff going down. The rubbish bag. All right. Okay, so strike water's up to temperature. We're at 73. I'll start to get the grains in now. Do it bit by bit and get a good old stir up. Oh, even without hitting the hot water, they smell fantastic. I've got my little bung in at the top to stop any of that dropping down. I paddle in. It's a good old mix up. We don't want any dough balls in there. Well, actually, there's quite a lot of water in this one. I think it was 17 litres, I think, mash water. That's looking pretty damn good. Take the rest of these in. Right, into the bottom. That's looking fantastic. On there. Right, I'm going to drop that down to 65 for 60 minutes. 3 kilowatt. That's good. Let's take that off. That's started. Back up. I don't need that actually now. That's just to stop that. Hold on. A little bit of recirculating. It'll help to stabilize the temperature. Looking good. Time to just clear away, then we'll start getting out the other kit so that we can start the sanitizing, cleaning down any bits and bobs, but sanitizing, getting everything prepped up ready. Whilst we've got our 60 minutes, we've then got a 15-minute increase to 75 degrees. I'll put all of these details up here on a bit of a card so that you can see as we're going along all the different stages. Use this all-purpose cleaner stuff. It's 2 grams per litre of water. It's a cleaner sterilizer, and then I'll star Sam just to give it a final blast before I'm ready. Enough hot water. The sparge water, although that's still red hot, it's going to be boiling. Just clean it while I'm doing it. What else do I need? I want that other paddle. Here we go. And also the other bucket. Actually, I might use that one. Okay, need them in a few days' time. I've got my hydrometer all set to go. I do need to clean down the bit of the pill. If you look in just there, look, see little bits of crud and stuff, so I just need to give that a clean properly. So when it goes in, that's fine. I've got my hydrometer, it's all set and ready to go. And I've also got my lactic acid. Right, I think we need to get the specs on, take a quick sample and see in terms of the, looking for my little jars. Okie dokie. What pH we've got in that. I'll cool that down a little bit first. In there, just to cool down a little bit. I calibrated this yesterday, so this should all be good to go. I've got some little syringes somewhere here. But we got white powder and syringes and stuff. You'd think there was something else going off here, wouldn't you? Anyway, nice specs on. So let's have a look. Instructions. So pre-mash. We brought the grain up to temperature, did that yesterday. Prepare the 17.4 litres of mash water. That was in there. We did the additions. So there was calcium chloride flakes. There was gypsum, calcium sulfate, and there was also magnesium sulfate, which is Epsom salts. We also added, I think, which was, yeah, bicarb. So bicarb of soda also got added as an addition as well. So that's all good to go. I've got my Protafloc tablet and also the Cervamyces for afterwards. So hit a strike temperature of 73 degrees. We've added the grain, no clumps, no dough balls. Give it a good old mix up with super paddle. 60 minutes at 68 degrees. We are currently at 67. So I'll just crank that up now. We've got the temperature. Okay, that's all good. So we're in there 60 minutes. We've just checked this pH and we're a bit high, so we've dropped that. We've added the 4 mils as recommended as part of the other additions. And what else have we done? Pretty much set up. We've got the fermenter cleaning down. The hops are ready for additions. Sparge water is all done. 13.3 litres of sparge water. I calculated the difference between the mash water and the sparge water for the additions, so it's not all gone in to that one. Similar to, I think, how they do it on Brewfather. So I split that up. Used a bit of an Excel spreadsheet to do that. And then once we're ready after the 60 minutes, we'll increase the temperature to 75 degrees for 15 minutes. Is that diacetyl rest, I think is what it's called. And then the sparge water will start. I've got my sparge arm ready to go over here, and we'll have a bit of a tidy up. So I'll come back to you in a second. Okay, today we're doing the Nectaron IPA by Tankard Brewing. I've got the instruction sheet here. Just about the brew, one thing I forgot to mention earlier on was around what ingredients we've got and what we're expecting. So we've got Alcyon Pale Ale malt, we've got crystal malt, wheat and oats, we've got the LAX yeast, if I can speak, and then we've got the hops, which are the Nectaron T90s. So that's all good to go. We've also expecting ABV around about 4.6%, original gravity at 1043, a final gravity at 1008, EBC is at 11, and IBUs so 30 is at 36, so quite a nice pale ale. So that's all good. Take you inside and have a quick look. There's this sparge water. This is the Mangrove Jack's mango IPA that I did a couple of weeks ago. I've still got a little bit of bubbling, but it's now really settled down. I've dry hopped it. Just zoom that out a little bit. So we're pretty much good to go. You can just see, get over there. See a little bit of movement. Got my kegerator. Got my gases. And there we go. So we're at 68 degrees. We've got, what, 35 minutes left of the mash. And then just on the outside, excuse the cars going past and trucks, we've got his buckets, hose pipes, that's fermenter cleaning. There's my RO plant. Actually, that's another little job I can do. Actually, I can get ready for my next brew. I can start drawing the RO water off. We'll catch you in a minute. Okay, we've had a good 10 minutes there. We'll just have a look at with pH now. Just now let that cool off. Let me book it for cleaning. We'll have a clean down on here as well afterwards, so that we're ready. We'll need to put the bit of tissue for cleaning. Yeah, so we'll need a bit of space to get the fermenter. Actually, this one could go over a little bit. The next one's going to go there. I'm also going to be doing a little bit of a starter project, going back to buckets and where I all started, and also beer kits. So I've got a Simply lager. I haven't done a lager for a long time, so we've got a lager kit, and we've got a beer enhancer to go in there. I'm going to do a separate video on that one, similar to what I did with the mangrove jacks, but I'm going to do it from a beginner perspective, because we've all got to start somewhere. That'll be coming up in the next few weeks, so watch this space for that one. Like and subscribe, and keep you up to date with any videos that come out. Let's have a look at temperature wise. Just a little bit longer. Move it around a little bit. Heat dissipates. On there. Handy little gadget with a magnet on. Okay, so let's have a quick look at the pH now. We had, was it 6.5 before? Let's see where we're at now. So the range you're looking for, ideally, is between 5.2 and 5.6. And this is 5.5. I don't know whether that's a little bit high, to be honest. Back in there. I might just give it just another little bit of lactic. So I'll come back to you in a second. Yeah, so I have just added a little bit more lactic acid. So that's taken me now to 5 mils. We'll give that another few minutes just to circulate through. I've got my pump running to keep it working through. A couple of other things just to note on here from the instructions. Op additions are going in. We've got a 60-minute op addition, which is this one, a small amount. Then we've got, after 50 minutes, or 10 minutes left to go, we've then got the 10-minute op additions. And then we get to 60 minutes, we turn it off, and then we start to cool it. I'll be getting probably at least 15 minutes before the end of the boil. I'll be getting my cooling coil in, getting my cold water pipe set up, so that I can then start to circulate and drop that temperature. I'll also be then setting up my yeast, getting that ready to go. I'll have added obviously my protofloc and other bits and bobs as I'm going. Fermentation, dry hopping. So dry hopping for this one is after 3 days of fermentation, add the dry hop pack. That's back in the fridge, and then just leave it until we get to the desired final gravity of 1008. So we'll see where we get to with that one. Hopefully we hit as original gravity at 1043. And we're going to start as fermentation. Looking at this, just jumping back a bit onto fermentation, we're going to start that off at 18 degrees and increase the temperature throughout the fermentation up to 22. So all good stuff. So we'll have to probably on a daily basis just keep coming in, just ramping it up, so it finishes out at 22 degrees. So okay, so while we're waiting for the mash. That's got 25 minutes left anyway. Just in terms of cleanliness, I've shown you this earlier. I don't know if you can really see that, but there is dirt from the last time it was used, just on those O-rings. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to drop these in, take the O-rings off, and give that a good clean, give that a good scrub, or light scrub, so I don't want to scratch it or damage it, but get rid of all of that that's on there, because we definitely don't want that in our beer. These things are amazing. They're a bugger to set up, and one thing I did learn with well, the first one, I dropped it in and the calibration weren't bang on. So by using my refractometer and my hydrometer, it was getting a slightly different and slightly higher reading. So when I bought another one, they were on offer at, I think, at Malt Miller. I'll drop a link in the description below. But I got another one. I got another one for Christmas, and I thought, right, I'm gonna spend some time. I'm gonna calibrate these. Where could I bloody hell as like get it to it, following the instructions? Anyway, the key with them is that you got to absolutely charge them up. And when it says 24 hours, believe it, it's going to take you 24 hours. So mine's now finished on. It's been charging overnight. Down here, you've got a couple of LEDs. And these LEDs will flash. The red one is when it's charging. That one's finished now. As you can see, there's no lights on there at all. So I can unplug that. That's now good to go. And then basically what you do is that goes inside there. I've got pill A and pill B. That's got on an app that's on my iPad, and I can sort of keep track then of what it's doing real time from a temperature point of view, and also from a specific gravity perspective. They are brilliant and not that expensive really, but it saves you constantly coming back and checking with the hydrometer, and of course the less that you're doing in terms of drawing off beer from your fermenter, it means that you're not introducing any potential for air or other stuff like that. I also, with Mangrove's Jack one, I've realised, and it's made a bit of a mess, but I just took the bung out and dropped, kept it as close as possible, dropped the hops in through the little hole and then put it back. It then started bubbling anyway, so it's obviously expelling any air and any of whatever, as it created a bit of a fizz. I don't know, but that will have helped. Otherwise, previously what I would have been doing would have been taking the whole lid off, and then you've got the potential for oxygen and stuff going in there. Oxygen and beer and fermentation don't mix. You need CO2, which is what the yeast is producing as it's doing its job of eating all the sugars. I'm going to clean that down now, and I'll come back to you in a second. The other thing I'll probably show you, and I'll get my iPad, but the other thing I'll show you is what it actually looks like when it's tracking as well, and I'll include that in a little bit. And there we go, all cleaned. All that's gone now off there. I think the key thing is obviously you don't want moisture left inside. I'll give them a good old clean. Nothing in there, nothing visible anyway. It's got had star sand on it. The O-rings, don't feel like there's anything on those either. And feels dry to the touch, so there's no potential for moisture to have hidden itself inside there. Rebuild that by putting the O-rings back on. That one, the one that goes up to there. Yep, good fit. Then red one. Don't like overstretching these. Actually, that seals up against it. Yeah. Fill A, good. And then it's just a case of tightening these down. Now when you get to that first O-ring, the threads themselves are up here on the inside of this lid. You do need to gently tighten it down till you get to that. It's now nicely sealed. There's my second one. I've not opened that one. Yeah, I have used it. It does need cleaning. So you go. Anyway, pill A and pill B. But today we're using pill A. I will drop that in the Star San outside now, and swap that camera angle back. Yeah, so we'll drop that in there. That can also be checking to make sure it's watertight, but it'll also anything that's left on the outside. If it feels clean, but obviously Star San will make sure it is. I keep saying Star San. It's not Star San. It's Chem San. It's this stuff. Again, you can get Star San, you can get Chem San. They're all very much of a muchness. Good stuff. Okay, so last pH check. Okay. Let that cool down a little bit further. One thing I've noticed already, how clear that is. That's a beauty. That's going to be absolutely fantastic. Right, so that's 5.4, which is fantastic. Okay, you probably can't hear that, but that's now finished the 60 minutes. So we will stop that. We will set the temp to 75, 75, I'm sure it was 75, yes, for 15 minutes. So temp. With a little luxury. Nice coffee whilst we're waiting. Okay, whilst we're waiting for the slight increase in temperature, so we're at, what we got 9 minutes left, and this is for at 75 degrees for the rest. So just give you a quick show. It's interesting in terms of I've got a different camera set up this time, so I'm going to be looking down here. The GoPro type stuff, nowhere near as good. I use my iPhone, to be honest, for the majority of the filming, but you do need some extra lights, and I'm lucky I've got a couple of extra ones that I use just to create a bit of an infill. Hopefully it does help and you can see us all right. It seems to look all right on video, but it's interesting in terms of when you start to look at the footage, you know, the camera just here and what have you, how much different it is with the light levels. There's lots of stuff to do with colour grading and all that, which I'm not into, but I just thought, well, we can set up an extra light up there. We've got the one up here. I've also managed to gaffer out how to stop the light from flickering, because LEDs are notorious for that, and so hopefully we've got over that little problem. And I'll just set you back up just down here. There we go. Yeah, so there you go. So we're just waiting. We've got 8 minutes left, and then we'll ramp the temperature up. Oh no, we won't. We will then. Oh yes, we will. We'll get the grain basket out, and I've got my sparge stuff ready to connect up to my water. That's at 75 degrees. 75, is it 75 or 76? 76, so it's just over in between, which is good. So I'll finish my coffee. And I think everything else is ready. We'll see you in a bit. Okay, so right then. So we've reached the end of this 15 minutes. That says rest period. We're now going to lift the grain basket out. Always a tricky one. 1, 2, 3. That's lifting nicely. Can hear that running, which is good. For a second. Yeah, then lift it again. Okie dokes. So let's get the sparge arm on. But no, let's not do that just yet. Looks like a nicely set grain bed as well. Stuff into my bouquet. Oh, give me that. Wow, mango jack stuff, marvellous. Okie doke. Okay, so okay, finished sparge. That's emptied. That's me. Sparge water done. Let's have a look at. How we make that more effective, I think. Let's put that on there for a second. Can you hear that nicely draining? Probably hear that in there as well. Spin you around over here. It's looking pretty solid. Grain bed. Okay, so the we've got a really nice flow through there. I can see fabulous work. It smells amazing. Let's have a look. So we should be working on a total water of 30.7 litres. When that's finished, running through, we're ramping up the temperature. We're at 82 degrees now already, which is good. And we'll get that off and then we'll start the boil. We've got 60-minute ops, 60-minute op addition to go in, and then set a timer reminder for 50 minutes. That'll remind me to come and do the 10. In fact, I'll do it at 15 minutes out, and then I can get my work chiller in there so that can be sterilising as well. And then we've got, obviously, as protofloc and other bits and bobs that will go in towards the latter end. And I think that's it for now. I'll come back in a minute. Okay, so that temperature's ramping up nicely. Still got A little bit of drippage going off there. I'm then going to transfer that outside and stick that, let the grains cool a little bit. And my plan is I'll freeze the, in fact no, I'll bag them up into sort of half-kilo bags. Stick them in the freezer, and then we feed them to the chickens. So, all good stuff. Okay, so let's get rid of the... Oh, still a bit of moisture in there, actually. It's another 5 minutes. Where are we with temperature? We're all right for temp, so we'll come back to that in a sec. Great stuff. So get rid of that outside. Let that cool off a little bit. Okay, so starting to get up to temperature. Slightly short of the 30 litres. 29 litres in there. I might just add a little bit of RO water I've got left just to top it up to the 30 litres. It's 30.7 total volume. I don't know, I'll see. Right, now we're at 95 degrees. As soon as we start to get up to a rolling boil, what I will do is we will add the 60-minute hot addition. I'll then set a timer reminder on my Alexa thingy over there, and we'll probably do it 15 minutes before. That'll give me enough time then to get me cooling coil in. I think I've said this already, and also remind me to get my others in, and also my proto flock. What we got, 97.5. I'll also drop down the heaters once 60-minute hop's gone in, so we're not risking any boil overs or daft like that. I'll probably drop it down to from 3 kilowatt down to probably around about 800-900 watts, and it just keeps it nicely throttling away for the 60 minutes. We've just hit that boil point now. Yep. That's good. Still not quite there in terms of temp. Off the indicator. Oh, there we go, 100 degrees, 60-minute boil. So let's get these hops in. Oof. Wow. Got my extract system running. I'm just going to drop down, so pause that a second. Power, I'm just going to drop that down to 1000. Keep it going for 60 minutes. I've also got a little fan here because I've found that this is great, particularly when you've got that door closed down. If we're not too bad today, the weather's not too bad. It's 9 degrees, more than enough for shorts. What I found is you can build up a bit of a plume. So there's just this little fan, and just helps to just keep moving it across the top, which is also great. It's a nice boil that we got going on there. Just move you over so you can have a better look. Okay. Well, it just probably steamed you out there. That looks pretty damn good to me. Okie dokie. We'll just put you back over here and then start finalising on cleaning down the fermenter. That's all pretty much good to go. few bits and bobs. There's my grain bed ready. I'll start bagging that up in a second as well. Get my little seat out there. Rinse all of that down, then star san it, or chem san it. Keep saying star san, chem san it, and we're good to go. Okay. Okay, that's all clean. Let's give that a rinse. There we go. We got 5 bags. Grain, maybe for the chickens. Okay, so we're just setting up now for adding in the work chiller. Where are we time wise? We're about 22 minutes away. I'll just give this a quick rinse. Fantastico. Can't do that damn thing with them on. Get that in there. Oh. Little. This is the out pipe. Just set up the water in, which is this one. And I'll do that before it gets too damned hot. There we go. I normally need to set up a little bit of a bob just underneath. That's great. So we've got 20 minutes left. Last 10 or 15, we'll add the Protoflock and the good to go, good to go, good to go. Keep saying good to go, no idea why. Everything else is pretty much cleaned down. I will start to drop the cleaning fluid out of the fermenter. You don't need to see me do that. I'll get that rinsed down and ready, and we can then get it in here whilst that's chilling. I'll put some chem san in just to keep on top of it, and fab. Okay, so we're just coming up 10 minutes left. Flock. Them in. Just 10 minutes. So a quick read of the instructions. 10 minutes to go. Oh, wait, 12 minutes on the last hot pack. Whee. Do, 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 do. And then flame out at 60. Fab. There are we, 11 minutes. Close enough. That's great. So now, the clean down. fermenters drained off and ready. My hydrometer ready, taking a reading. I've got my water connected to my coil for cooling. I've got my outlet on there as well. I think we're ready for the next stage. So we've got just that 10 minutes to go now. So I'll catch you. Right then, so we're at flame out. We added our 10-minute up addition in just before the 10 minutes up. We've just now got the cooling water going through. We're already dropped it down to 90 degrees pretty quickly. So I'll come back to you in a bit when that's cooled down to probably about 20-22, because when it goes in the stainless steel fermenter it'll drop another few degrees anyway, so we'll see you in a minute. Right then, so we're at 23.3 degrees. I'm going to turn the chiller off, the chilling off now, and bring the fermenter in, and we'll start looking at transferring. Into position. Turn the water off, looking good. Got the whirlpool going. Just disconnect these. Shoot it out. Water. Okay, so we've got that whirlpool in. Just spit that off. Great stuff. We star sand. We've checked the taps are all closed. We star sand. Let's get this going and do the transfer over. Look at that. It's looking fantastic. So I'm going to pitch the yeast in pretty much at the same time as that's going in there, and we'll do that in a second. This is the LAX yeast. Whilst that's transferring, again, there'll be them haters out there around. What are you doing? It works for me. Fantastic. I've got star sand paddle. Just to get that all mixing as we go. So looking at what I got left in my boiling kettle, I got out of the 30 litres I started with, I've got, looking at that line, probably around about 28 litres left. So interesting boil off. Something this takes us to anyway. If we get to anywhere sort of near that 6 and a bit gallon, we'll be quids in. Just in terms of what's left over here, residue was all on the false bottom. Yeah, fantastic. Okay, so we hit a original gravity of 1038, so slightly below. Now I think that's because I was a bit late in starting this beer. I got it in, I think, back end of November, early December. My plan was to do it at Christmas. I had some time off at Christmas, but didn't get around to it for other things. So I think it's probably maybe just a little bit of the age of it in terms of the grains. However, I'm reasonable with that. I don't need them to be too strong, but we'll see what it ferments out at, and just get the heat back on, and then I'm going to set up the pill, which I will show you now. Okay, so there's the pill, star sand, chem sand. I'm ready. Drop that in there. Get the clamps on. Set up the ink bird for the temperature. Some in the airlock. Capped that. I'll sort this out now and come back to you shortly. Right then, so we're set up. We've got the ink bird on. That's set at 18, and we're going to ramp that up to 22 as advised. We've got the heat belt on, as you can see here. We've got the, ooh, it's a bit bright. Let's come to this side. We've got the airlock in. That's into cooling, and we're good to go. Mangrove Jack's over there. I'll be right in on here just in a very second, and then it's over to. Is it the nice bit? I suppose the brew day is pretty much finished now. I've got obviously my star sand, my cleaning fluids. I've got my mop to clean the floor, a good old sort out, all that kind of stuff. See in there as well. But anyway, I'll come back to you shortly. I'll just get this squared away, and I think we might have a celebratory beer. Right then, we tidied up, we cleaned down, everything's spick and span, bit of star san, chem san in it as well. We'll just do a quick recap, shall we? So it was the Tanker Brewing, Nectaron APA, Alcyon Pale Ale Malt, Crystal Malt, Wheat and Oats. We used a WHC LAX yeast, and the hops were T90 Nectaron, hence the name. The original gravity, they were expecting 10.43. I was slightly lower than that. I was 10.38, but I think that was down to the fact that I left it too long in terms of I got the kit and then I left it a little bit too long. But anyway, we'll see where we get to, see where the final gravity ends up and lands us. IBUs 36, so actually looking at the colour of it already, it's going to be a lovely ale, and it smells absolutely fantastic tipping it in to the fermenter. So we'll see where we go. The dry hops go in after 3 days, and there's the other thing in terms of we set up for 18, it's just ever so slightly cooling down. I think we're at around about 20, so that'll cool off in my garage brewery anyway. And then after 3 days, we're going to put the dry hops in there in the fridge, ready. And I'll do the same as I did with that. I'll just probably take the airlock out and just drop them through that little hole, and then put it back again. And then we'll see where we go. Leave it for a couple of weeks. It does recommend that once, obviously, you've done it, leave it beer to sit for 1 month to condition and enjoy. We'll see where we go with that, won't we? Right. So I think brewer's privilege. Let's get a glass and see what we've got on here. So Citra Blonde or Manhattan Brewing IPA 5.6. It's a bit strong for a Sunday afternoon, but let's give it a whiz. While that's pouring, I did also mention about the Simply Lager. I'll be doing that one in an upcoming video, so like and subscribe so you don't miss it. This one's looking pretty nice as it's pouring, and watch this space. I'll probably do a short on that just to remind people, but please do look out for it. And I think that's clearing quite nicely, and that's clearing absolutely bloody lovely. Yep, take the top off that. So cheers to all you home brewers, and like I said, like and subscribe, watch this space, and join me on the next one. See you soon. Cheers, guys. By heck, that's nice. Cheers.